We were inspired by the lovely image of Emma's hair, and to produce this we used the Selena mannequin and using pipe cleaners and doing a pipe cleaner perm wrap with rod on base to create this full look. Let's plan it out. So make sure that we have all our tools in place so that we're ready to wrap and roll. You will need your scissors, your tools, your perm lotion. You want to make sure that you've got your pipe cleaners folded in half and your end papers cut in half, as well as your sectioning clip, scissors, and your water bottle, your perm rods, and also the H2O with a sponge. This is all going to help you in prepping your next phase. Part of the prep is to bring all the hair back into a very low ponytail, secure it with a band, and you can see these ends are so thin and weak. So what we're going to do is just come across that, and we're going to strengthen the perimeter just right above the band. And voila. Start wrapping and rolling. You got your pipe cleaner, and what you're going to do this before you start, or it'll just take too much time. So once I bend it over, I just keep my finger at the top, and that just forms that shape. Don't really squeeze it that tight at the top right now, because you need that to be a bit more flexible in inserting it around the hair. So that's what it looked like. So just go ahead, I think they're 52 a bag, so just go ahead and have those pre-planned out, as well as your end paper. I've cut like a stash in half, and you'll see why as we wrap and roll. And then what I've got is just a little half a sponge, and I put some water in there because my hands tend to get dry as I'm wrapping and rolling. So this helps me to pick up the end papers a little bit more quickly. So it's just a little trick. Hair has been pre-cleansed with a clarifying shampoo. You'll bring your mannequin over. There's no need to pre-condition the hair. Let the hair fall in its most natural fall, and I would even do this on a real client. So we're not looking for any clean, definite part lines, as well as any clean, definite sections or subsections as we travel through the wrap. I'm using this pick, but you can use a tail comb, with a pin comb. But this is what I'm using, so I have this at hand. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go in and just like map out our journey to get to our final result. This will just help us work a little quicker and a little cleaner as well. So taking the pick, I'm going to come at the top of the head and aim to just at the ear, and not really a deep, we're not deep zigzagging. We don't want that. We just want think of a little wiggle. You're just having a little wiggle. And this will just create very soft zigzag and a very, like we said, an uneven section, and that's what you're looking for. The top of the head, same on the other side, and we're going to wiggle down, and then this will get combed forward, and just isolate this out of the way. You can secure this. You can secure it with a clip, or I've got these picks. These are actually food picks. Trust me, there's no food that's gone in it. And then just secure that out of the way, like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the back of the head. So from the top, let the hair fall, give it a little wiggle all the way down to the center nape, like so. So it doesn't have to be definite and doesn't have to be precise either. Going to secure one side out the way. And then on this side, we're going to come in about an inch just above the hairline. Again, a little wiggle. And we'll secure this out of the way. Always comb that hair that you want to isolate out the way up so that you don't get what we call like a saggy bottom. So you can then see where your guide is. Starting in the nape area, take a squiggly section across. You're probably coming up about maybe half an inch above the hairline. Keep the hair moist, but not saturated. just moist enough. We'll probably get 3, maybe 4, but I think we'll probably get like 3 out of this. So I'm going to come in and just eyeball it so you visualize 3 divides. For presentation purposes, I'm going to pop that out of the way, and we want to make sure that we comb the hair right from the root. We're going to take our folded pipe cleaner and we're going to put it at the root. Now, and this is where we're going to give it a little twist and a squeeze. It's right here. Make sure that you just got about halfway. Going to twist it and squeeze it. Now, because of the fabric, and then you're going to fold it back at the back. So now you've got 2 sides. You're going to take the hair and you're going to fold over and under. Imagine you are doing a figure 8, which is exactly what you are doing, is a figure 8. So you're going to figure 8 the hair, and you want to keep it up tight to each other. So you want to use the pipe cleaner. Now don't worry about the sag, and the reason why it's sagging a little bit there is because it slides down the pipe cleaner. You want to make sure that your pipe cleaners are staying downwards and not out like this too much. You want them down, like going south. You can also use the end of your comb if you need to help push this up a little bit, but you don't want to get too much space in between the figure 8. You want to keep it as tight as possible. And you're going to keep going. Each time, really stroke that section of hair just to keep it as smooth as you can during this part. And you'll see that just doing the one takes quite a bit of time, which is why I suggest wear comfy shoes. So you are comfy. So as we're approaching the ends of the hair, I think you can appreciate now why we actually pre-cut first. We're going to keep going until you almost can literally not wrap that anymore. I'm almost there. I'm going to say that's probably the last one, like so. Hold that in the middle. This is where I'm using the sponge. Take the half end paper and wrap it around to protect the ends there. And then you can take the pipe cleaner, the end of the pipe cleaner, and just wrap that around like so. So this is going to be the technique throughout the whole head shape. While we are here, we're going to take our matchstick rod and we're going to put it at the root. And we're going to bend that so that we've got a tightness at the root and a bend at the root, and we're going to secure that. This is what's going to give you a little bit more of a kick at the root as well. So you're going to have a bit more of a bend at the root. As you see, it rolls around about once. So this is going to be our method throughout the whole head of the hair. So that's our first section done. With it being the narrowest, there'll be the fewest pipe cleaners and perm rods in there. So I'm coming up maybe at 1/4 inch and drop the hair down again, do a little wiggle with your pick and ensure then that this hair goes back up. You can use a chopstick if you like as well, so you've got choices. There you go. And we're going to do a break pattern here, so we're not going to follow the absolute same sections. So I'm going to divide this into 2 for now, and then I'm going to take some from the left side and some from the right, so that we can get one that's going to be a little bit more in the middle. There'll probably be like 2 on each one, on each subsequent side as well. So we're going to carry on with our wrap and roll. Also, in the case that you may feel that you have too much of the pipe cleaner left at the end, it's okay to cut some of that off before you fold these ends over, like so. And again, the perm rod at the root, wrap the pipe cleaner around and bring that perm rod right on base. Like so, like so. And there you go. Voila. Where the hair gets longer as you're working up the shape of the head, you'll notice that in certain areas, especially in the back where the head's the widest, that you may need to do what I'm going to do now as you're running out of pipe cleaner, is to keep going until you can and then wrap the hair around it a few times before you add the end paper, like so. And then add the end paper to secure the ends. And bend it up, and then you'll get your matchstick. You'll put it in at the root, you'll bend this over, take it right at the root, like so. Hold that tight and secure. I'm running out of the shorter ones. You will definitely have these in your kit, as I've already addressed this with the lovely Colleen. Also, another thing, as I'm working around, I'm just clipping these down to keep them out of the way, because they do tend to like to kick up and get in the way a little bit. So that's another tip as well. As we wrap further up into the head shape, you're going to notice you're going to be getting longer because we're working further up. So what I'm doing now is I've taken the pipe cleaner in half and then add an extension. So maybe come about like an inch into it and then start wrapping that around and around on both sides. And you could wrap it quite tight. So again, maybe about an inch into the other one and then wrap that around. Be careful because you don't want to prick yourself with these ends, but now you've got an extension. So that's what we're going to do on this piece right here. Continue wrapping your figure eight around and around. You can see why you would need comfy shoes for this, right? So we're now at the extension part of the pipe cleaner. Also, make sure that you stand in an A-frame so your feet are wider than your hips. This is going to give you, take the pressure off your lower back, and also keep a little bend in your knees so that you don't have locked knees, and also try to maneuver side to side a little bit. You'll thank me later for that part. So here we are, we've utilized all of that extension. Carry on again, we're going to carry on until we run out of hair. Wrapping it around, coiling those ends around, and then adding the end paper. Like so. And then attaching the rod at the root, like so. And voila. And what I'm doing as I'm working along, just to keep these down, because you can see they tend to stick out, is I'm just attaching a clip there to keep that flatter in that area. So that's a little twisted. Here we go. So that is how we add the extension. And this is how the final wrap looks before processing. We process with the cap that comes with the perm kit for 20-25 minutes. Rinse thoroughly. Once rinsed thoroughly, you must blot excessively to get as much wetness out of the hair. and then apply the neutralizer for approximately 5 minutes, and then remove the rinse the neutralizer, sorry, and then remove the pipe cleaners. And the way that you will remove the pipe cleaner is in the same manner that you added the pipe cleaners, by unraveling the hair in the same fashion. I'm using the pick here because sometimes the hair gets caught around the fibre of the pipe cleaner, so this will help. And also, if you notice any excess ends like so from the pipe cleaners, I cut them off so they don't get in your way when removing, because they can actually tangle the hair. So this is how we remove them. This perm technique results in a curl type as a 4A, 4B in a kinky coily curl pattern. Naturally, you'll end up with some fishhooks from this technique because the hair gets thinner to the ends. So when you wrap it around such a tight surface, it will coil even more. So just go through an eyeball where you see those fishhooks, and you can just very light on an angle. You don't want to go straight across. Try and cut on an angle or cut up to take off that bend in the hair. And in the interior, where there's a couple of hairs a little bit smoother or less curly, you can take your scissor on an angle again and just lightly, you're not fully closing the blade, you're just lightly cutting that through. But I'm loving the volume, I love the texture. It feels so believable. It feels, it's dense and it's cushiony is what it feels like, a cushion. So get wrapping. Just look at how beautiful this has come out. It's so natural and believable. Oops, she's a bit bossa. Look at that. Just look at that. Hi team, just wanted to jump on at the end of this video and just say well done for doing this if you took on this challenge, because it was a challenge. You saw the before photo of the mannequin, you saw our inspiration by the lovely model Emma, and to get there took a lot of endurance, a lot of patience, and a lot of faith in knowing that the technique will work and will produce. And I'm very, very happy with the result. You can see the before of Selena, the mannequin, and the inspiration of the lovely Emma, as we said earlier, that this is the result. And honestly, it is amazing. It takes time, it takes endurance, but it also takes love. And the labor of love is proof in the pudding. So stick it out and enjoy the wrap and roll.